till we get the total ban on the total initiative relative to what we can do with more Border Patrol and more asylum officers.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either. Look.
Guys, welcome to Better Bachelor. My name is Joker with a face for radio and a voice for print. I just finished up my live stream over on betterbachelor.locals.com for the presidential debate. It was crazy. Rumble and Locals were struggling because so many people tuned into the live streams. Something like 750,000 people were watching live streams all at once for the presidential debate. And so the systems kept crashing down. Needless to say, it was a pretty good debate. There wasn't a lot of back and forth like we're used to in debates, which actually I think helped President Trump, and it hurt Joe Biden. Joe Biden looked like he's gone, man. Like he's gone. And we know it, those of us that watch and keep up with the news and aren't blinded by being a member of the cult. We knew it, but now everybody's seen it, and it's on display, and no one can deny it anymore. So I thought I'd take a couple minutes. If you want to watch the debate, you can. I got a couple of good clips from it, very short, like 15 seconds each. But the best part, the part that I'm enjoying the most out of this is watching the liberal media absolutely melt down. If you didn't believe that they were in the pockets of the Democratic Party, there's no hiding it, obviously, because MSNBC, CNN, the Young Turks, all of them are basically in tears saying like, oh, what are we going to do? This is horrible. He did horrible. Life is over. Orange Man, the Cheeto, is going to be winning the elections. We need to replace him immediately. He's done. So I thought for fun, like I said, it's 12:30 at night. I'm not ready for bed yet. I thought for fun, while they're all plastered all over social media, I would bring you my favorite meltdowns of the evening. So this is Joy Reid. She is a political hack, an activist for the Democrat Party, and she's on MSNBC, and she has a hot take on how she feels about the debate tonight. So I'm going to just play a few of these. We'll have some fun. This is from Benny Johnson, who does political stuff here on YouTube.
I, too, was on the phone throughout much of the debate with Obama world people, with Democrats, with people who are political operatives, with campaign operatives. My phone really never stopped buzzing throughout.
Her voice sounds a little shaky. I would really love to see just a couple of tears tonight, just a couple.
And the universal reaction was somewhere approaching panic. The people who were texting with me were very concerned about President Biden seeming extremely feeble, seeming extremely weak.
Here's the best part. Like, we all knew Joe Biden was going to shit his pants, right? I mean, that's because that's just a thing. But I actually think the political pundits, these left-wing activists that pass themselves off as news people, I think they collectively are shitting their pants more than Joe Biden is, as hard as that is to believe. But it has been very, very enjoyable. Russell Brand, of course, who's here on YouTube. He's on Rumble. He's on Locals with us as well. He simply posted this. I can't believe that just happened. A very beautiful burn by President Trump.
Making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID. Excuse me, with dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump?
Well, he's right. He did beat Medicare. He beat it to death, and he's destroying Medicare.
I play that clip, number one, to give you the zinger that Trump gave him. You can see how bad Biden is. This is after not working for a week. I think he went to Camp David, and he rested for a week, took 7 days off, had a bunch of people helping him prepare. CNN gave him the questions ahead of time. And he really, really struggled this whole night. Here's another clip. and this is Orrin McIntyre. I'm not sure who that is. He's got 165,000 followers. Host and columnist at The Blaze. He said this is the ending shot right here for President Biden. I'll let you hear this one as well. And then I'm going to sum up everything at the end because this is actually bad news. I know it's crazy to believe. This is probably bad news, but we'll talk about that momentarily.
Move until we get the total ban on the total initiative relative to what we can do with more Border Patrol and more asylum officers.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either. Look,
it's just such a... That was my favorite part of the whole night when he's like, I don't know what he said. I don't know what he said. I don't think he does either. It was so good. If you notice, Biden sounds a little tinny, a little hollow. The reason being his voice is so weak, they had to crank his microphone up to 12. And occasionally they were getting feedback on Trump's microphone because the studio audio was so hot, so loud, to get Biden to be loud enough to be somewhat understandable. It didn't work, to be quite frank with you. I'm going to save Young Turks for the end since they're here on YouTube. They're going to be my favorite roast of the evening. Here's from CNN. And if you listen at one point, I think it's this interview with Van Jones, he says, we Democrats need to do something. We need to find out what we're... It's very clear that they're one-sided on the political aisle. But you can hear he's really frustrated. And it's their Chiron down at the bottom says sources, Dems saying we have a problem after Biden's performance tonight. They're all freaking out, all of them.
I love Joe Biden. I work for Joe Biden. He didn't do well at all. He did not do well at all. And he looked, I'll give you the analysis, you kind of have the old man versus the con man. I can walk you.
They got to call Trump a con man. They have to. They got to put him down, or else, heaven forbid, someone might believe he might be a Trump voter, and then they'd have to string him up or something.
Through how I'm supposed to see it and say it, but I just want to speak from my heart. I love that guy. That's a good man. He loves his country. He's doing the best that he can. But he had a test to meet tonight to restore confidence of the country and of the base, and he failed to do that. And I think there's a lot of people who are going to want to see him consider taking a different course now. We're still far from our convention, and there is time for this party to figure out a different way forward if he will allow us to do that. But that was not what we needed from Joe Biden, and it's personally painful for a lot of people. It's not just panic, it's pain.
I don't like Joe Biden. I think Joe Biden I do think he's evil. I do think he is doing things that are going to be very detrimental to this country for perhaps many years, if not decades to come. He should be out of the presidency. But I also think there's a little bit of elder mishandling here. I don't know how much he's doing to the country, but I do know that all the people in his administration and the people that are working underneath him in his cabinets and everything, I think they're just as evil, if not more so than he is. Because somewhere along the line, they're the ones that keep him going. They're the ones pushing things along. The challenge is going to be for the Democrats is if they say, okay, we've convinced Joe to step down, Kamala Harris becomes the president. That's not a good thing. We'll get to that momentarily. I got just a couple more clips, and then we'll do a sum up here. This is posted by Colin Rugg. He's the co-owner of Trending Politics. He's got about 1.1 million followers. He says, breaking, CNN panics. Let's hear it live right from CNN.
Minutes into the debate, and it continues right now. It involves party strategists. It involves elected officials. It involves fundraisers. And they're having conversations about the president's performance, which they think was dismal, which they think will hurt other people down the party in the ticket. And they're having conversations about what they should do about it. Some of those conversations include, should we go to the White House and ask the president to step aside? Other of the conversations are about, should prominent Democrats go public with that call? Because they feel this debate was so terrible. They do say, in moments in the debate later, the president got better and got his footing, but then at the end, even his closing statement was a little... Minutes into the debate, and
then it repeats after that. Yeah, they're worried that Biden is such a poison pill to the ticket that if he's the Democrat president, he's the one running, people need to go and vote for him. It's not enough to just vote against Trump this time around because the economy's horrible, the border's horrible. There's a lot of issues people are really concerned about. People are not going to show up just to vote against Trump. There's a lot of people that are going to vote for Trump, but there's not enough people that are going to vote against Trump. They need somebody that people will go out to vote for, and that's not Joe Biden. Now, we all have known he's this bad. These people have known he's this bad. But now everybody feels like, well, everybody knows he's this bad now. We're going to have to pull the rug out from underneath him. Now we can't say he's fine, everything's great, he's smart, he's strong, that he's doing a great job. They can't do that anymore because Biden's been outed during this debate. This is from the Post-Millennial. If anybody in America thinks this was even close to being an okay debate by President Joe Biden, I'm living in a parallel universe. Former Trump campaign advisor. This is another minute-long clip. We'll just listen to this one.
Anybody in America thinks that was even close to being an okay debate by Joe Biden, I'm living in a parallel universe. That was an unmitigated disaster for President Biden from the second he walked out to the closing statement. The biggest issue for Democrats is abortion, and he couldn't give an answer. He gave an answer, he couldn't even give a coherent answer on the biggest issue for Democrats tonight. I've heard from leading Democrats across the United States, elected governors, congressmen, who are texting me and saying, I'm worried I'm going to lose if Joe Biden's at the top of the ticket. Bob Casey, I promise you tonight, in the state of Pennsylvania, is thrown up in his mouth because he knows that if he's got to stand next to Joe Biden, he's going down in Pennsylvania. If he's on the ticket, I don't know how it's going to work.
Yeah, look, it was a really disappointing debate performance from Joe Biden. I don't think there's any other way to slice it. His biggest issue that he had to prove to the American
biggest issue he had, and he couldn't answer it. There were many points during the debate he just was looking like gap-jawed, mouth open, staring off at the floor. It was not good. I got one last clip, and then I'll give it with a closing summary. Look at Cenk Uygur. Oh, I'm sorry, Cenk. He spells it Cenk. I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Cenk Uygur. Although I probably should make fun of him. I'm starting to get a little heavy myself. Listen to him freak out. Everybody's freaking out. You notice that people, this is within 15, 20 minutes after the debate, people are getting phone calls like, if this guy's on the ticket, I'm done. I'm toast. What are we going to do? That's 10 minutes after the debate. It wasn't even till we'll have to see what happens the next morning. No, it was immediate, the freak out.
And the whole time the split screen is killing Biden. Because he's got his mouth open, he looks confused, doesn't know where he is. He's lost his train of thought at least twice in disastrous shape. Those are gonna be played 1 billion times in viral video after viral video. This is an epic disaster. I see people online saying, well, okay, that answer wasn't so bad. No, it doesn't. Any particular answer doesn't matter at all. This thing is over. He looks like he's barely surviving. I don't mean the debate, I mean life. And so there's no person that has a single brain cell left in their head who thinks that Joe Biden is the best candidate to take on Donald Trump. You would have to be even crazier than Donald Trump to think that. This thing is over. I'll guarantee you this. I would bet show me a Democratic politician and I will bet them any amount of money that Joe Biden's going to lose this election if he's the candidate. It's a guaranteed loss. You're telling me this is the most important election of our lifetimes? You're telling me that democracy's on the line and you're going to put on a guy who can't even talk, who can't even sit there and look normal. This thing's a bloodbath. He's going to get annihilated. That is, okay, now the Democrats have to decide. Are they happy to lose? Are they willing to lose? Because this is a guaranteed loss.
This is so much worse than my worst nightmares of what it could be like.
The best part about this is they have TYT 2024, the final election, and in the background is the White House on fire. And I guess they were insinuating that if President Trump got in, that the White House would be on fire and the country's burning down. And to listen to them talk now, they realize if this guy's still leading the country and he gets elected again, he's probably going to make the country burn.
Every way. The visual stuff is obvious. The staring off, the looking down, it looks terrible. His voice is so utterly weak and feeble. And honestly, like that immediately hits you when you see him, but what he says and what he doesn't say on the most important core issues of the election are even worse. Trump won on abortion in the debate. Trump comes out of the January 6th stuff looking fine. He comes out of the criminal conviction stuff looking fine. Joe Biden looks worse on democracy after that. He looks worse on criminality after that.
Well, it's because he is worse on those things. Let's be honest with it. So I just want to do a quick video that showed the sum up of the freak out 15 minutes afterwards. I'm sure there'll be more tomorrow. But I will leave it with this. Here's why I worry. I do worry for our country because this is our leader. He's supposedly the guy that's negotiating with Russia and negotiating with Israel and Palestine and Ukraine, and this is supposed to be, he's our commander in chief of our military. This guy has the football has the punch codes to the nuclear football, as we call it here. That's very worrisome. But what's more worrying to me is that Russia and China and North Korea and various countries in the Middle East, they see this stuff too. They see that interview. They see the media freaking out. And they know that more than likely Trump is going to get elected. And Trump is kind of that 10% madman that makes those countries nervous to do anything too crazy because they don't know if Trump will just go ahead and pull the trigger and do something insane. And so it scares them a little bit. Now, after seeing this, they know that we're compromised. They know the next in line is Kamala Harris that really has zero political wherewithal. She's not very bright. She talks in circles. She's an exceptionally weak leader as a backup, and they know it. We know it. And that means that if they think that Trump might be stepping in November to take over, any land grabs, any conflicts, anything that Russia and the Palestinians and China decides to do, there's a pretty big risk that they'll do it quickly and very hard, and they'll do it very soon to make sure that whatever land grabs or whatever repositioning they want to get, they get in the best position. For example, Iran, Iraq, whoever decides, you know what, we're going to jump in with the Palestinians. We're going to go hard on Israel. Joe's weak. He's not supporting them. They're going to go hard, hard, hard. See if they can take advantage of the United States being weak. China may decide to go for Taiwan. I know a lot of people say, oh, they don't really want it, or all right, but maybe they decide, hey, we're going to go really hard for Taiwan because he's compromised, because he's obviously not in his right mind. That's the leader of the country. The United States is in a weak position. We can take advantage. Maybe China pulls the trigger on that and goes for Taiwan. Maybe Russia sees this and they realize United States doesn't have a leg to stand on when it comes to negotiating, when it comes to saying they're going to do certain things against us. Let's push hard. I don't know, and again, even if they say, okay, let's get Joe out of there. Like, obviously, everybody sees we're weak, we're in trouble. Let's get Joe out of there. They put Kamala in, somebody that got most of her job positions on her knees, and laughs and giggles and makes zero sense about anything, and she's going to be the commander of the military. Congratulations on the first woman president in history. It might also be the last president in history. it's a very interesting time. So while I'm enjoying the fact that now everybody has to admit President Potato Head is actually truly a houseplant and they need to do something about it, while they realize that they're going to have to either put up Kamala or somehow replace Kamala with Gavin Newsom or somebody else from California, but the far left won't like that and won't vote for him because they're removing a woman of color for a white guy. They're going to hate that. Like, this is a mess for the Democrats. But what frightens me more is it's a mess for Americans, that it's bad for Americans too. And we just may get pushed on a whole bunch of fronts, and our allies that we're supposed to help and be strong for, they may not be strong enough to help them. I don't know. But I'd love to hear what you guys think down below. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget, Saturday night, I do movie nights over at betterbachelor.locals.com. We have such a great time. It's $5 a month to become a supporter. I do tons of live streams and one-off events over there. So I hope you come over and join us today. I will leave it there, guys. We will see you in the next one.